Should we talk about quickly the breaking news with Fani Willis?
She's testifying in Georgia.
No, Congress.
D.C. Dumb bunny put her hand on her hip, did head with snake charmed motions, and did the dumbest Fifth Amendment stupid stunt I've seen in my whole legal career. She told on herself, and the implications are egregious. I think the rats are going to try to abandon the sinking ship, and a lot of them are going to try to do what they can to get minimum jail time liability. So it's going to fall out, and they've got a good case. If I were the federal prosecutor or in the U.S. Attorney's Office or Attorney General for the United States, I would quickly get a special prosecutor appointed. And if I were the special prosecutor, I could build a damn good case to put a whole lot of people in a federal penitentiary for conspiracy. Fox, state's attorney in Chicago, Illinois, Bragg in New York, Letitia James in New York, Mir John, the judge in New York, Fani Willis, Wade, Smith down in Florida.
Let me interject this because Pam Bondi, she is looking into prosecutors who went against Trump, who was trying to prosecute Trump.
Should.
Yeah.
It looks like clear conspiracy to me.
I wanted to read this. It says House Judiciary Committee, which is led by Ohio Republican Representative Jim Jordan, says it is continuing its investigation into politically motivated prosecutions, focusing on Fulton County District Attorney Office and its case against President Donald Trump. The investigation was initially announced December of 2023. The committee has requested the voluntary cooperation of multiple people employed by the DA office, including Chief Senior DA Donald Wakeford, Deputy DA Will Wooten, Assistant Chief Investigator Michael Hill, and Assistant Trina Wanson Lucas. Letters were sent to the above employees Thursday afternoon.
That ought to be fun. That ought to be entertaining. But I see jail in somebody's future. Oh, yes. Striped suntan from peeping through the bars and all of that. For a short time anyway, they'll probably, well, come to think of it, there is no federal parole or probation once you get past a certain level in the federal system. So in violation of public trust, that's an enhancer when it comes to, or an aggravator when it comes to sentencing. So yeah, they need to be locked up, and a precedent needs to be set so that this is not done again in the future. By the way, this is why we have the Bill of Rights to stop this, and they just stomped all over it, trying to do exactly what was prohibited. So wow, we whoopee, dumb bunnies.
Yeah, this is the documentation, the letter sent out to them. So this is serious. They have to show up, correct?
The U.S. Congress can issue subpoenas. Even the mob shows up.
Yeah. So
Fanny took her tie behind up there. I wonder if she wore that orange pink dress upside down, inside out, backwards.
Yeah, but that was in the Georgia courtroom. This is a congressional meeting, so I don't know if this is going to be public or not. But when is Fani Willis? When is Fani Willis going to sit in front of that congressional meeting?
Is she there now, or did she just get notice she's required to appear?
No, this is for her employees to appear.
Oh, okay. That means she's a target, so they're not going to do what they did with Ollie North. They went after him. He got convicted he was a scapegoat for what was going on in the Reagan era with the Taliban and Afghanistan and down in Central America and we still have almost 2,000 live Stinger missiles out there as a result of that. And there was plausible deniability, and they went after him, and he got convicted, but the conviction got thrown out because they violated his rights on that technicality that a lot of people were talking about should not be honored back then. So I imagine what happens is if they call her, they will be very circumspect about it.
Mm-hmm.
But they're going to get as much as they can from her employees beforehand. And
well,
they might roast her.
Also, Attorney General
sauce to smear over her when they put her over the charcoal.
Well, also, Attorney General Pam Bundy calls for creation of weaponization working group to review Jack Smith's Trump cases, and one of them in particular, the Department of Justice has been ordered to provide information on communications between former Special Counsel Jack Smith and Fulton County DA Fani Willis about prosecution of Donald Trump. So those communications has to be released.
I bet Attorney Wade was warbling and going through the notes just like a trained canary or a songbird.
Mm-hmm.
And he's told them a lot. Yeah, that's what I was saying several weeks ago. It's conspiracy. Here you have loop-de-loop, all of these people meeting up with, and guess who comes in? Kamala Harris, because Wade was talking about they met up with Queenla.
Mm-hmm.
The hacking, cackling hyena girl.
Right. And he was overseeing the Trump case for the January 6th, but Fani Willis was in communication with him as well.
See, the only thing they could have said was, what do you have? Can you send me copies of it? They can't discuss collaborating to get him. Do that, you get a conspiracy.
Right.
Ought to be fun and games. I don't like Smith. He reminds me of some idiots that I dealt with. One or two were in front of me over there.
That phone is so annoying. Like,
there's nothing I can do with it.
What is that? That's your house number that you don't even answer that.
Never used. That's all spam. And the only reason I have it plugged in is because the front doorbell works through there. So
you believe Fani Willis will go to jail or get probation?
I think she's going to jail because what they have on her, conspiracy, is not subject to probation.
Mm-hmm.
And I think
you thought it was all going to go away. That Trump.
They might let her plead to something related to conspiracy with a 5-year cap, which means the most she could get is 5 years, which under her circumstances would be, with the guidelines, 5 years, and that's 60 months. She'd wind up serving between 56 and 58 under federal supervision before they release her, which means you get 2 months off out of the 5 years. In the state system, you might be able to do that in a few months, but not.
She will have to resign from her post.
She'll get removed.
And also, we all talking about federal. We're not even talking about at the state, and we don't have to talk about that now, but she still has the state of Georgia investigation as well.
Oh, yeah. Georgia's not going to let her off the hook either.
Yeah.
I think Red Georgia wants to send a message about, hey, don't try to take the state too purple. You guys lost. Everything you stand for is a matter of objection to most sane people.
Yeah, because I think Nathan Wade, he already saved his own ass.
No, he hasn't saved himself. He's just trying to work something out so he gets to plead to something with a low cap. See, you cannot plea bargain for a sentence in the federal system. All you can do is plea bargain for the crime they let you plead guilty to. So in other words, you try to get it, when I say with a cap, in other words, the sentence that you could get, everything going south, would be no more than 10 years. So in other words, you say, man, you better cop out. Your lawyer did pretty good, man. He got you a deal with a 10-year cap. or yeah, man, he did real good. He got you one with a 5-year cap, man.
Okay. All right. Well,
Or you could be like Geithner, and he pled out the tax evasion to the tune of $28 million, and he got 6 months suspended and a $42,000 fine. Wesley Snipes had a messed up Atlanta lawyer who didn't know what he was doing. And that person wound up getting him 3 years consecutive on lesser included misdemeanors for failure to file a complete set of income taxes that somebody else was paid to do for him. And also, there was no overpayment of tax because I was there as a witness, and IRS had a check for $250,000 as a refund because he'd overpaid his taxes. But his clown Atlanta lawyer wound up not knowing what to do. The judge was jumping his stuff about, do you have a clue as to what you're up to? Help your client out. The court would like to help your client out. The court is impressed. And they wound up, you give the court no choice. This man is otherwise entitled to probation, and you didn't put anything on that the court can hang his hat on. The court had to call 4 witnesses on your client's behalf, including Judge Brown over here, and Dr. Cliff Stewart, and Mr. Muhammad, and an officer, I forget who he was in the military.
oh, with all that said, this is all to be continued. Right. This is all to be continued, and we'll be talking more about Fulton County corruption, not just with Fani, with the jail, and with what is going on against the citizens. So,
in other words, my point is that if you get convicted of failure to file a complete set of income tax forms, but you overpaid your taxes by $250,000, and you get 3 years, of which you do all but 3 months. Think of what you're going to get for engaging in a conspiracy across the nation to keep the overwhelming choice, who got the popular vote and electoral college vote, and try to keep him from being the president to clean up your mess. Think of what you're going to get for that.